All right, everyone, we have some pretty good Jurassic World Evolution 3 news. The next DLC that will be releasing August 11th has been revealed. This one is known as Crocodilia Coast. And there's some really cool things that will be included in this DLC. Of course, the main one being the Dinosuchus, which is a creature that has been requested for the longest time. Rightfully so. It's a very cool extinct crocodile relative. And it's one that I'm very excited to see in the game, with, might I add, a very beautiful design. Like, this seriously looks insanely good. Check this out. The snout looks incredible. It's got like the bulbous end over here, which is something that Dinosuchus did have. And the whole bulk of it just looks amazing overall. We can look at the gallery here. Here's one of it jumping onto the land to catch a Postosuchus down here. Of course, we have a little bit of a family unit right there and a baby Dinosuchus with its mother. And look how cool it looks right there too. Now, this is really great for a few different reasons. Not only because it's Dinosuchus, which is already fantastic, but because it offers a new element to the game. Dinosuchus, as you can see right here, will be able to swim in deep water. And that'll be like the bulk of its habitat, and also it'll be able to go onto the land, as you can see over here. And in addition to that, it hunts its prey by jumping onto the land to grab them. There's even some footage out there of a Dinosuchus doing that to a Postosuchus, which, by the way, Postosuchus is also in the DLC, which is equally as exciting. Postosuchus is, an extinct Pseudotsuchian. It's a croc relative that lived during the Triassic period, and it's a cool one. It's probably most famous from its appearance in Walking with Dinosaurs, and I'm very excited for it. In addition to Dinosuchus and Postosuchus, there will be Desmatosuchus, which is another early Pseudotsuchian that lived in the Triassic period. Desmatosuchus kind of looks like an ankylosaur, but off in a way. And that's another one that I'm also just incredibly excited about. As you can see up here, we have Dinosuchus, Postosuchus, and Desmatosuchus. They are also bringing back Styxosaurus and Shonisaurus. I'm very excited for the reintroduction of Shonisaurus. They are doing a similar thing that they did with the Wetlands pack, where they included Dinochirus in the DLC so that you can get that creature back from Evolution 2, along with some new creatures. And Shonisaurus was one of my favorite creatures from Evolution 2, so I'm really glad that it's coming back, even though it's a little bit unfortunate that we need to pay for it again. That is something that is a bit sad, if you ask me. But to me, the Dinosuchus is a fantastic addition, and so is Postosuchus and Desmatosuchus. And honestly, personally, I think I would have called this like Pseudotsuchia Coast or something like that. I know that Crocodilia Coast has a better ring to it, a CC, but all of these guys are Pseudotsuchians. Not a single one of them is a true crocodilian. Dinosuchus might be a true crocodilian, but some recent research seems to indicate that it's outside of, it's not a crocodilian, like it's not a true crocodilian. It seems to suggest that it's actually a crocodilomorph. And obviously Postosuchus and Desmatosuchus are not crocodilians either, rather they're Pseudotsuchians, just relatives of crocodilians. But it's just a name, it's not the biggest deal in the world. So I'm very excited for that, and I'm really glad that the introduction of Dinosuchus introduces some new gameplay mechanics. I'll probably return to the Mesozoic Media Park after the introduction of these creatures, because now we can add Dinosuchus to our prehistoric park section, and we can add Postosuchus to our Walking with Dinosaurs section. So there's some really cool things that we can do with the introduction of these critters. That also opens the door for a lot of really cool creatures in the future as well. This is a pack that is full of exclusively non-dinosaurs. There is not a single dinosaur in this whole pack. So that's already paving the way for something great. Maybe we can get some more packs in the future that include other creatures that are not dinosaurs. This also opens the door for the possibility of other large Pseudotsuchians like Sarcosuchus, Purosaurus, and Stomatosuchus, or any of those really interesting creatures, or maybe even giant amphibians, like Mastodonsaurus. Wouldn't that be a cool inclusion? It's likely that they filled a niche that was similar to crocodilians anyway. And so since you have this mechanic introduced to the game, you can add something like a giant crocodile-like amphibian to the game in the future. So this sets up, this paves the way for some really, really cool stuff. Obviously, that's not the only thing that's being included. There will be a free update. This update will include the Elasmosaurus, which is awesome, returning from Jurassic World Evolution 2, now as a full family unit, as well as clear glass, which is phenomenal. There's a lot of enclosures that I can make that could utilize clear glass. That is something that we have been missing, and I am so excited for that. Modular scenery items and new sandbox setting options. I'm excited to see what that is. I'm sure that many of us already know. And as you can see, there's a lot of scenery items here too. A lot of this reminds me of Texas, like around Padre Island. And I'm sure that that's intentional, given the fact that Dinosaurus has been found in Texas. So that's really cool. A lot of beachfront scenery. It looks really nice. I really like it. I know that there's also like quite a few new things that will be included in the free update as well. But obviously, the biggest standout for me in terms of this DLC and everything are these guys. But I am especially excited to see the likes of Postosuchus. Although I will say I think the osteoderms are incorrect on this little fella. But there's not a lot of Triassic creatures in the game as it currently stands. But now with Postosuchus and Desmatosuchus, you can expand that roster a little bit, and you can make some really cool enclosures that include those fellas. And I think Desmatosuchus was also in When Dinosaurs Roamed America, so maybe I can make an enclosure that is themed around that. So the possibilities are endless. I am so excited for all of this. It's just some really cool stuff. And honestly, this is probably, in my mind, this is probably their best DLC yet. Like, I think I like this more than the Rebirth DLC. I think that this offers just overall some really, really cool stuff. Just look at that. Look at how big it is. And again, the snout shape looks amazing. The osteoderms, they really nailed the look of those. They all look so incredibly good. And again, I am so glad that we get this new hunting method in addition to Dinosuchus. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that really quick because I think it's really exciting news. But until until next time, thank you guys so much for watching and have an awesome day.